back to Leatherwork School. This is Ellen Valentine here. I'm the author of Leatherwork School. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit more detail about three-piece, three-sided gussets. This is discussed on page 47 in the Leatherwork School book. Leatherwork School book, page 47, and I realized that the actual picture was missing some red lines. One of my readers pointed that out to me, so I wanted to jump on here with a quick YouTube video and just clarify the three-piece, three-sided gusset. Here we go. Three pieces. We've got two side pieces here, two sides, and then we have the bottom piece. So the important thing I wanted to point out here is you can see those red lines. I've just hand drawn them in here in red just to point them out, to bring them to your attention. But these red lines need to be equal size, equal distance. So the side corners and the bottom corners need to match up. Now I do realize you can do a raised gusset and have two of these lines different. But for now, let's just keep it simple and just say that all four lines need to be the same. And in my example here, these are all about a ½ inch. So that's that'll keep them equidistant. You can even do, if you're in millimeters, you could do 12 millimeters, something like that, to keep them equidistant. The width of this pattern should equal the width of your body pattern. So this is the bottom gusset. They should be equal. And they are in my example here, so you want to keep those equal. And then the height of this pattern piece, your side pattern pieces, also needs to match the side of your body pattern. So they all need to match up. So then what you need to do is you need to cut out all your pieces. Be very careful when you're cutting out your pieces. And then you're actually going to stitch them together. And what you're going to do, you see here, on my pattern example, I have the stitching line measured here, and I have the stitching line measured here. So you're going to put your top piece on top here, and at your machine or hand stitching, you want to stitch right where those stitching line, dash line is. You want to stitch there. And then you also want to do the same thing for the other side. And I realize they're going to overlap, but that's okay. Because your sides are not as tall as your bottom is wide. So then you're going to stitch on this side. So then once you've got all four sides stitched, there's the beginning of your gusset. So you're going to stitch, and you want to start and end exactly where that corner matches. You want to start and end right there where those two gusset pieces come together. So here you can see a piece. I've done this in some salpa or some bonded leather. You can see I've made my stitching on each side. The next thing you would do is you would edge finish this edge, because it will show on the outside of your bag. So edge finish both of these edges. And then what you want to do is you actually want to overlap the corners. Now I realize some makers will actually cut away that bottom corner piece, but I actually like to have that there for extra reinforcement. You can skive that bottom corner piece. So what I'm talking about here is this corner piece. You can skive that very, very thin. It will lay behind the gusset legs on the side gusset. So skive those super thin, and then you want to actually glue them together. And I'll show you here what I've done. Can you see that? You see how we've got those glued? So what you're seeing now is you'll actually see on the outer portion of the bag, you'll see your long outer leg is glued to your bottom piece in the back there. And I've done that on both sides of this bag, gusset here. And so now what I'm ready to do, and I'm going to flip over to the overhead camera so that you can see this. Now what I'm ready to do here is I'm ready, once I've done both sides, and I've only done one here so that I could show you, and actually let me just go right back to the front camera here. You see these two sides? That's what you want to unite and glue, and you want to glue them so that the the outer piece is on top. So that's what you want to do. The outer piece should be on top when you finish. So you want to glue the other side as well. And you just are gluing those tabs together. That's all you're gluing at this point. Then we'll switch back here to the overhead camera. So once you have both sides glued, then what you're going to do is you're actually going to adhere this to your body. So you're going to glue it down here on all four sides. Glue it down on all four sides. Again, you should have a perfect match when you're done with this. And that's it. So you're going to then stitch. You're going to stitch along here, along the bottom, along the side. And then you'll flip it over and do the same. This is a very popular gusset for machine sewers because you have lots of room in here to maneuver your machine. So that's what you want to do to glue your pieces here. If you have very stiff leather, you may even want to crease along here or turn these pieces back and actually hammer them a bit, because you don't want your bag body to be buckling with the force of the gusset being stitched in. You really want the gusset to be doing the folding here, not the bag body. So that's another tip that you'll want to do. This is another sample. This is made out of leather, but no lining or anything. I just was testing this pattern piece, and you can see here we've got the side stitched in. Then we switch and we stitch in our bottom, and you want to try your best to stitch over that seam right there. Stitch over that seam instead of stitching in the crack. So that's what you want to do. And then at the end of the day, you've got a nice gusset, nicely inset here. There's your finished edge. It rises above your bottom piece. So I hope that answers questions. I'm sorry that the pattern picture did not pick up the red in this diagram, but that's essentially what you want. And I will put this out as a link in the YouTube menu so that you can actually see where these red lines are and how they do need to be equidistant. As always, if anybody's got any questions, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you master leatherwork and leatherwork techniques. If anybody needs anything, you can always send me a DM on Instagram at Leatherwork School, or you can shoot me an email at support@leatherworkschool.com. Best of luck with these three-sided gussets. I think you'll really like them once you get the hang of it. Thanks so much.